Alright, so what am I doing tonight? I'm going to be using chard. I'm going to use 1 can of vine ripe low sodium traditional pasta sauce, and I'm going to use these smart bagels, and what they are little bagels with holes in them, because bagels have holes. And what we're going to do is we're going to cook mini pizzas on top of it. Now the twist is this: we're going to use this green sauce over the top of it, and then we're going to put ribbons of chard over the top of it. And so I think it's going to be a very vegan type of meal, a little unusual. Welcome to Healthy Vegan Living! What I didn't know is they come apart. Look at that. So I'm going to use just 2 of them. They smell really delicious and oniony. Talk about that. Next we open the can. Now the last time I made something similar like that, I put so much on here, it was just drenching in it, and it didn't work out. Then what I had is wet bread, and it just didn't work. So this time I'm thinking of using a lot less, just barely a hint of these sauce, so that I can put on the magic sauce that you saw me put together in the last video. And then what we'll do is we'll cut some leaves and we'll just lay it over the top, and it should be an interesting dinner. Now this sauce tastes a lot like spaghetti sauce, and though I'm using very little, I probably will be making some kind of pasta dish. So just take a little bit in your spoon, and if you can see what I'm doing, I'm going around the circles, and I'm just putting a hint of the tomato sauce on the top. You don't want a wet bagel, you just want to have a little bit of a hint on it. And there's not very much. It's not like a pizza crust that you can buy at the store. This is a bagel, so it's not very thick, especially this one here, this smart bagel. Now we're going to start the oven at 350 degrees, and I'm going to put this in while the oven gets warm, so that what I'm hoping that'll happen is some of this will evaporate and you'll start getting, then pretty close to then I'll be putting on the green sauce, and then, well, in this case the almond chard sauce, and next what we'll be doing is putting in the topping. Oops. Okay, so I'm setting it up, let's see, bake, and I've set 350, and then I put it as a start someplace, so it starts at 100 degrees, and then when I open the door, and we're going to put this in now. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put a lid on this, because we're not ready for this yet, and we're going to cut up the chard. Okay, and then we're putting this away in a plastic container. I got this at Aldi's, in case you're curious. I think I paid 79 cents for it, but it's a very good sauce. Okay, alright, and this goes in the fridge. Next we chop up the chard. Alright, so this is just barely 4 pieces of bagel, so we don't need a lot of chard, and this is too many. Now I just wanted to explain to you chard. This is the bottom leaf, so this one's very, very thick and tough. This is a top leaf. This is going to be a very thin, and you can see the spine is a lot smaller. So you want leaves that are small. So we're going to use these 2 leaves, and these other 2 leaves are going to go someplace else. Make another dish, show you another thing. Now, you're just basically, what we're going to do with this is we're going to quickly freshen it up. This is one of my new bamboo boards, and the top never really has that much to worry about, so we're just going to lay it like that. And what we're going to do, we're going to cut the spine out of it. Now some people, they cook that's how they were taught. If that's the way you were taught, just do it that way. You know, it's just what I'm trying to do is just make a little topping on it. Okay, so like for example, we can cut this piece off here. We'll just cut this off. And then I save these for soups. Sometimes I use them up and I make a little chutney with them. There's a lot of uses for these, so you don't have to throw it away. Okay, you lay it on top like this, and then roll it up. And this is really cool. And what you're going to be cutting it, you're going to be cutting it in your mind like 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch. And you see what it's going to do? It's going to make these little strings, and that's what you want. You want the strings. And in this case, you don't want anything really thick because it's going to go on top of your existing bagel. Actually, the sauce is going to go on top first, and this will go on top of the sauce. Very vegan, very natural. That noise in the background is Joy chomping on her new toy. Alright, so that's all you need. This is plenty. We're cherry Kamados. So what we're going to do, we're going to take 2 cherry Kamados and cut them in half, and we'll lay that on top of our pizzas. Eventually, I'll be buying, she's having a good time. Eventually, I'll be buying a vegan pizza crust, and then we won't be using these bread pieces like we've been doing. But it does give you an alternative. You can do this with an English muffin. Matter of fact, my wife did this for years using English muffin, and she would make like a mini pizza from it. Here I'm just using a bagel. So now the oven is only at 185. Yeah, you can. That's 192. So what we're going to do is we're going to let it raise up a little bit, close to 300, 350 degrees. And then what we're going to do is apply our topping. Alright, so I'll see you in a little bit. If you don't want your toy to squeak like this, ow, you bit me, you little turd. Sorry. If you don't want your toy, make sure that you buy a toy like this one that doesn't drive you crazy when you're doing cooking shows. A little maniac here in the kitchen, Joy, is having way too much of a good time attacking. This is the only toy we bought her. And then she's got this rope here, got this other rope, a bone. All these other toys belong to TJ, who's being a very good boy over here. And he ate his dinner. Alright, so that noise is from our little girl who didn't appreciate me grabbing it. Yes, I guess I'm teasing her a little bit, so maybe I deserve it. Alright, so back to cooking. Good, now what you're going to do, you're going to get a mitt, because the oven's been on, and you know it's going to be hot. Oh, it looks, oh, and I just got myself a nice facial. And I'm going to put it someplace where there's no plastic, otherwise it's going to melt it. And let's just check to see how it came out. And it's crispy. That's exactly what I was hoping for. So next what you're going to do is you're going to use the green sauce, and this is very thick, and this is an almond chard sauce. And you're going to do just like what you did before. You're going to put very little on. And I mean little. And because it's hot, you're going to probably have to. And it's going to be a little awkward because it's going to be done on top of your parchment paper. So now what you have is you have your bagel with the tomato, and it's cooked into it, and it's a nice, and it's hot, by the way. I forgot to tell you that because it came straight from the oven. I forgot to check that. So if you do this like I'm doing, you might want to use a fork to hold it in place. Okay, so, and from here we're just going to go directly, and we're going to add a little bit of a chard on top, just like something like that. A bit too much there on the first one. And don't worry if it falls in the hole. And then you're going to take your tomatoes that you cut up, the Kamados, and you're going to lay those on top. Now you're going to have to watch these, so don't leave the kitchen. You're going to have to make sure, because this is not going to take long now that the oven is at 350 degrees. See, and then take your, mess up the camera. Let's see. Take your leftover. I'm trying to move this so you guys can see what I'm doing. And just put it on top. That wasn't that much. Okay. And then separate them off so that they can have room to breathe. And then put it back in. Since now that you got the pizza crust, basically, or the bagel, the smart bagel crust ready, it should go fast. Okay. Alright, so now we go check and see how it turns out. Alright, we'll see you in a few minutes. So it's been a few minutes and we're going to check it.
Oh yeah.
So what it looks like is the leaves have wilted. The green sauce is still, it's getting really hot. I'm going to put this down. It's still a little bit pliable. It would have been better if I had done this, the green sauce and the tomato sauce together. But once this cools down, I think it's going to be perfect. The smart bagel is still crusty, and this is you could say, you could make like a bunch of these, cut them in quarters. You could serve them out at parties. It is totally unique and a very delicious way to be able to have dinner. Now, safety. Close your door. Turn off. You can tell there's no red over here. That's how you know it's hot. The door is closed. You got it made. And now plate it. Alright, it's going to probably be a little difficult, but what we can do is get a spatula, and you can already see, you can hear it, that it's not gooey in any sense. Put this down over here. So you didn't get a chance to see that because I was moving the pan. Now make sure the pan is away from you. Remember, it's still hot. You gotta watch yourself. Anybody burn trying out your new food? Alright, so let's test one of them. First I'll get a close-up shot. Okay, and then we're gonna see my little bite here. Well, it's a little tough. But it's quite good. I think it probably needed a lot more of the spaghetti sauce on top. But it's a unique meal. I mean, let's try those tomatoes. Oh, the tomatoes, the tomatoes are just plain yummy. Okay, so I'm going to eat this. So, this is a meal that I think will work out. And as you can see, I barely use any of the green sauce. I got 3 more days to figure out how to any meals to use it up with. And worst comes to worst, if I can't use this, I'll put it in a different beverage. Alright, so thanks a lot for watching how I created this little mini pizza creation, and we hope to see you in our next video. We hope to see you watching our next video.
If you like this channel, please subscribe. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. Thank you for watching.